Have you ever been watching, say, like a period drama or like the royal wedding or something like that, and you see these women in these teeny tiny hats? They're called fascinators, apparently. And initially, you look at them and it's like, that is a pointless teeny tiny hat. But then the more you look at it, the more you realise that it's kind of pulling the ensemble together, and without it, maybe it kind of wouldn't work. It is a small, but ultimately very distinguished tiny hat. I, obviously, do not have a fascinator, or at least I didn't until recently. This is my fascinator. It is a Fairfield Circuitry Shallow Waters, and it's this subtle, warm, beautiful, inviting sonic reinvigorator. You know, if you've got a part that is a bit boring or a bit dull, or maybe you have a sound that you're not sure on, or that sort of stuff, this will take pretty much anything that I put through it and just make it interesting. Just a little tiny hat. There's elements of chorusing here and flanging and envelope filtering and low pass gate that all kind of adds up to this wonderful, almost tapey wow and flutter type thing that is just utterly beguiling and fascinating. It's so beautiful. I'm going to run some piano through it, and I think we'll have a twiddle. So while we're here, we'll have a look at the top panel. You've got the rate knob here, which controls kind of the rate of that modulation, sort of a wow and flutter knob. LPG, which controls that low pass gate and that envelope filtering that I mentioned earlier. Damp, which controls the kind of speed or slope of that modulation and seems to do some kind of low pass filtering, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. Mix, which is your kind of mix between your wet and dry signal. Depth, which is the depth of that modulation, kind of how strong the modulation is. And then volume, which is kind of your overall output volume. This thing does seem to have a preamp in it because it does some wonderful distortion-y stuff that we can check out in a bit. On the inside, if you're feeling adventurous, there is a boost and pad for the input stage. There is also a control for the lowest frequency that low pass gate will bite down to, so you can have some control over that as well. And it's true bypass, so it gets out of your way when you need it to. It's so rare nowadays, especially in the effects pedal market, or generally the audio market, I think, to find something that is genuinely new and unique and also sounds killer. I feel like pretty much everything nowadays that's been done has been done, and if it hasn't been done, it's because it sounds like arse. Let's pop through a nice bassy synth to see if we can get something going with that envelope filter. It sounds really, really killer. I reckon we get it on some drums and try and get that drive going that I mentioned earlier. I think this thing is absolutely fantastic. It's a really cool way of taking maybe a melody or a sound that's getting a little bit old or a little bit kind of tired and just invigorating it and making it new again and just sprinkling something interesting. It's a shame that it's mono. I would absolutely love it if they did a stereo one, but you know, I've seen people use two of these so that they can get that stereo thing. That's how well loved they are, and I kind of get it. I don't know if I'd buy another one for stereo, but if they came out with a stereo version, this would be out the door and I'd have the stereo one in as quickly as possible. I'd love to check out some more Fairfield Circuitry stuff in future, because if it's all like this, I think I'll be lining my walls with it. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of the sounds. I'm kind of obsessed with it, to be honest. If you fancy, sound off in the comments down below. Do all those YouTubey things, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, etc, etc. Lastly, before I go, Nevermore Audio has a community forum. It's very small at the moment, there's not many people on there, but it is growing all the time, and there's some great conversation and some great music being shared. So if you feel like nerding out with lots of like-minded people, come over and join, because it's awesome. It's a good time. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.